Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast.
It's great to be here.
Today, we are tackling a situation that I think every single person listening has experienced, probably already this week. You dial into a meeting, you're working remotely, you're in your home office, but the rest of the team,
They're all together.
they're all together in a conference room at headquarters. You see them on the screen, laughing at some joke you didn't quite hear, passing snacks around, maybe whispering, and you realize you're not really a participant anymore.
No, you're just a face on the wall.
Exactly.
It's the modern professional dilemma, I've heard it called, the two-class system of meetings. You have the active participants in the room sharing the same air and energy, and then you have the passive observers dialing in from wherever.
And it's not just annoying, right? It's a massive productivity killer for the company.
It is. It's a huge problem.
It feels like you're watching a TV show instead of actually being in the meeting. But today, we are going to fix that. We're doing a deep dive into a really fantastic guide called Hybrid Meeting Etiquette, giving remote and on-site teams equal voice. It's by Felix Römer from smartkeys.org.
And what I love about this piece is that he doesn't treat etiquette as just, being polite.
Right. It's not about which fork to use.
Exactly. This is a strategic guide. It's all about operational efficiency. Because if half your team feels ignored, you're effectively losing half of your available brain power.
That's a staggering way to put it. You're paying for the whole brain, but only using the half that drove into the office.
Precisely. And the source makes a great point about the business landscape. We're not going back to 2019.
Yeah.
Hybrid is here to stay. But Romer points out this crucial data point that attention spans on screens.
Oh.
They just plummet.
Oh, they do.
Usually in under an hour. So if you don't have structure, you lose people. It's that simple.
So the mission of this deep dive is to give you a playbook. Whether you're a team lead or just trying to get through the week, we're going to break down how to fix these broken meeting cultures. And a lot of the work happens before you even click join.
It has to. If you wait until the meeting starts to figure things out, you've already failed. Phase 1 is the pre-meeting strategy. The article suggests the meeting actually starts asynchronously.
Let's unpack that. I mean, most people just send a calendar invite and hope for the best.
And that's a recipe for a bad meeting. The first pillar is the agenda. But not just a list of bullet points you wrote 5 minutes before. It has to be co-created.
Co-created. So you're asking people what they want to discuss.
Exactly. It avoids the surprise party meeting where no one knows why they're there. If you send an agenda out 24 hours in advance and ask for input, you might find out your lead engineer has a critical blocker that needs to be number 1 on the list.
That leads to one of my favorite tactics in the text. And honestly, if you only take one thing away from this, I hope it's this. The no narration rule.
Oh, this is the golden rule. The idea is simple. Push all the one-way updates, the stuff where you're just reading a slide, into a pre-read document.
I cannot tell you how many hours of my life I have lost watching someone read a PowerPoint slide to me. Word for word.
It is the most expensive way to transfer information. Live time, synchronous time, is incredibly costly when you add up everyone's salary. It should be for debate, for decisions, for discussion.
If I can read it in an email, don't read it to me in a meeting.
That's the rule.
Uh-huh.
And the source suggests using Q&A tools or forms to get questions beforehand. So you can walk into a meeting knowing the top 5 things people are worried about. You're not guessing.
Okay, now here's where it gets really tactical. The roles. Usually it's just the boss running the show. A Rimmer breaks it down into very specific jobs.
And this is critical. You have your facilitator who guides the flow. That's pretty standard. But the game changer here, and I think this is the most innovative part of the whole approach, is the remote co-facilitator.
I've never seen this in practice, but it makes so much sense. What does that person actually do?
The remote co-facilitator is a specific person, ideally someone who is also remote, and their only job is to watch the chat, to cue voices, and make sure the people on the screen are not ignored. They are the advocate for the virtual attendees.
Because in a real room, body language is everything. I lean forward, you know I'm about to speak. But on a screen, no one sees that.
Exactly. And how often does someone remote type a brilliant point in the chat, but the people in the room are too busy talking over each other to even notice it?
Oh, a time.
The remote co-facilitator stops that. They have the authority to interrupt and say, hey, hold on, Sarah has a great point in the chat, or I think Mike has his hand raised. It levels the playing field. Instantly.
It gives the remote team a voice at the table.
It really does. And then you have smaller roles, like a tech host to handle screen sharing, a note taker. It seems like a lot, But for an important meeting, it keeps everything on track.
So we've prepped, we have our roles. Now let's talk about the room itself. Phase 2, hardware and setup. The article mentions eye-level cameras.
This seems so small, but it's psychologically huge. Think about most conference rooms. The camera is way up on top of a giant TV.
Right, it's looking down on everyone.
So for the remote person, it feels like they're a security guard watching a surveillance feed. You're just seeing the tops of people's heads. Putting the camera at eye level simulates natural eye contact. It humanizes everyone.
And on the flip side, the people in the room need to see the remote faces clearly.
Yes. Large monitors. This is key. If your remote team is just a tiny thumbnail on a laptop at the far end of a long table, they're not really there. You need them life-size so you can see if they look confused or if they're frowning.
But the source emphasizes that visuals are actually secondary to the most crucial element.
Audio.
Audio.
You can survive bad video. If the video freezes, you can keep talking. You cannot survive bad audio. If you can't hear, you aren't in the meeting. It's over. And the article is very specific about positioning microphones to pick up all the speakers.
Right, not just the loudest person at the head of the table.
Exactly, the loudest voice problem. The person near the mic dominates, and the person at the end of the table is just a ghost. You need satellite mics. And the room itself matters.
Soft
furnishings, acoustic panels, anything to dampen sound. Those cool glass walls and concrete floors in modern offices, they're terrible for echo. And that echo increases cognitive load.
Your brain has to work harder.
Twice as hard just to filter the noise. It's exhausting for remote people.
And of course, the pre-join check. We have to stop the "can you hear me" dance.
It wastes the first 5 minutes of every single meeting. Test your tech before the start time. It's just about respecting everyone's time.
Okay, the tech is working. We're live. Phase 3, in-meeting execution. The source talks about adopting a gracious host mindset. What does that mean in a business meeting?
It means setting the social contract. And interestingly, the article suggests normalizing small noises from remote people.
Wait, really? The rule is always mute yourself.
Well, you mute for the lawnmower, yes. But if you demand absolute silence, people check out. The psychological barrier to unmute becomes really high. You want them to feel like they can jump in. But there's one thing that absolutely must be silenced.
Side conversations in the room.
Oh, it's toxic for hybrid meetings. When two people in the room start whispering, the remote people instantly feel excluded. They can't hear, they don't know what's going on. It just breeds paranoia.
So the rule is one conversation at a time. On the mic.
Non-negotiable. If you have something to say to the whole group.
The article also suggests a few communication tweaks, like using names.
Naming is so powerful. Instead of saying, "Any thoughts?" You say, "Susan, what do you think about this?" It pulls them in directly. And with that, summarizing, a quick recap after each topic keeps everyone on the same page.
Here's a protocol I found really interesting, the overlap rule.
This is a great one. You know how audio latency is a thing? That slight delay. Someone remote will start talking at the exact same time as someone in the room.
The clash, yeah.
The protocol is to always hand the turn to the online speaker first.
Why give them priority?
Because it is so much harder for them to interrupt. They have to overcome that tech barrier. If you don't give them priority, they'll just give up and stay silent. The person in the room can always jump back in easily.
That makes perfect sense. And look into the camera.
It feels weird, but it's the only way to make eye contact with the remote team.
So we're communicating better. Now, how do we actually collaborate? Phase 4, engagement tactics. I have to admit, when I hear icebreakers, I roll my eyes.
I'm with you. Forced fun is the worst. But Römer suggests very low-friction versions, a 60-second activity, a one-word gratitude prompt. The goal isn't to be best friends. The goal is to get everyone to unmute and speak once, right at the start.
It's more technical than social.
Exactly. It signals that their voice works and that it matters. Statistics show if someone doesn't speak in the first 10 minutes, they likely won't speak at all.
Okay, that I can get behind. What about the buddy system?
It sounds a bit like kindergarten, but it's incredibly effective. You pair a remote person with an in-room buddy.
How does that work?
So if you're remote, I'm your buddy in the room. If someone brings in a physical prototype, I make sure you get a picture of it. If you can't get a word in, you message me, and I'll raise my hand for you. It ensures you're not forgotten.
That's a great way to bridge the us versus them divide.
It is. And when it comes to brainstorming, the article is very firm. Avoid physical whiteboards.
But everyone loves the whiteboard.
The people in the room love the whiteboard. For the remote person, it's just a blurry rectangle in the back of someone's head. You have to use digital tools. Miro, mural, something where everyone is on the same virtual surface.
So using a physical board is actively excluding people.
You're telling them their ideas don't matter as much. Plain and simple.
The source mentioned a technique I hadn't heard of called figure storming.
It's a fun, creative technique. You use a randomized wheel of notable figures, like, what would Elon Musk do? Or how would Oprah solve this?
It sounds like a game.
It is, but it serves a purpose. It lowers the barrier to entry. You're not suggesting your idea, you're just role-playing. So it's safer to say something bold, and it keeps the energy up.
Which is so hard to do. The article also suggests live feedback, like quizzes or polls.
Yeah, trivia with leaderboards is a great idea for the text. It gamifies it a little. If you check your email for 10 minutes, you might lose the game. It keeps people alert.
So we've had a great meeting. We're at the end, phase 5, the wrap-up. How do we stick the landing?
This is where most meetings fall apart. You run out of time, everyone waves, clicks leave, and nobody is sure what was decided. Römer insists on a verbal recap.
Reading the receipts out loud.
Yes. Before anyone leaves, you read the list. Decisions made, who owns them, what are the deadlines? Aloud. It forces clarity right then and there.
And then the follow-up.
Immediate. Not tomorrow. The minutes, the recording, the shared doc. It goes out right away. That's for the asynchronous culture. If I miss the meeting, I should be able to catch up within an hour.
Let's zoom out. Why go through all this trouble? Assigning co-facilitators, buying acoustic panels, it sounds like a lot of effort.
It's about talent and culture. Hybrid is not going away. And if your meetings are painful for remote workers, your best remote workers will leave. Or they'll just check out, quiet quitting.
So it's a retention strategy.
Absolutely. Clear expectations shape your culture. When you professionalize your meetings, treating them like a production instead of a casual chat, you build trust. You get the best ideas from your entire team, not just the loudest people in the office.
It protects time and raises productivity across the board.
It does. And frankly, it's just more respectful. It shows you value the person, not just the chair they happen to be sitting in.
So as we wrap this deep dive, the conclusion from the source is clear. We have to stop winging it with hybrid meetings.
Right. The winning strategy is structure. Roles, agendas, tech checks. It sounds rigid, but that structure is what creates the freedom for real collaboration to happen.
So, for everyone listening, here's the practical takeaway. You don't have to do everything overnight. Start small.
I would challenge you. Try the remote co-facilitator role in your very next meeting. Just ask one person to watch the chat and advocate for the remote team. See what happens. Or just try the no-side conversations rule. You'll be amazed.
I'm definitely going to try the remote co-facilitator. It feels like such a simple fix for a massive problem.
It really is a game changer.
Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. I want to thank you for tuning in to the SmartKeys podcast.
It's been a pleasure to unpack all this.
If you found this useful and you want more insights on the future of work and sauce innovation, please subscribe to the podcast. And do yourself a favor. Read Felix Römer's full article. We covered a lot, but the full checklist is an invaluable resource for any team.
Absolutely. The link is right there in the show notes. Go get the complete playbook.
Thanks for listening, and here's to better, smarter meetings. We'll see you next time.